Welcome back to the Arsenal Alliance. Now, Arsenal beat Olympiacos 2-0 in the second round of Champions League games at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday. And I was pretty impressed with one player in particular. A player that I've been slagging off for, 18 months or so. I've been slagging him off. I don't believe he should be our club captain. But his performance against Olympiacos, especially in that first half, was fantastic. I'll call it how I see it. And, you know, when someone deserves criticism, I'll criticise. When someone deserves praise, I'll praise. And I think Martin Odegaard was unplayable in that first half. He was playing a lot deeper than usual. Wasn't in the 10. He was playing more in like an 8 position, like a box-to-box, but like a deep lying playmaker. Some of the passing was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And let me tell you this. I can't wait. Listen, this is what I can't wait for. I can't wait for, say we get a midfield, Odegaard on that form, and then we get a midfield of Rice in the 6, Odegaard in the 8, as he was playing against Olympiacos the other day, and then Eze in the 10. I think that midfield there, if Odegaard could play up to the standard that he played on Wednesday in that first half, with Rice as the 6, and obviously Eze as the 10, I just think that midfield would be unplayable. It would be unplayable. That midfield, for me, is strong enough to go and win some titles, some trophies, you know, whatever. We could dominate. We could dominate. I mean, I don't want to start jumping on the bandwagon too soon and saying, oh, we're going to win the league based on that one good performance from Martin Odegaard. But I do know he's a good player. And I have slagged him off. I have said he's finished, he's no good, injuries have effed him, Arteta's effed him. But I just think we see a glimpse of the player that he could be, or that he was about 2 or 3 years ago, when he had that great season, when he got 15 goals, 12 or 15 goals or something we see glimpses of that. And if we can stay, if he can keep that form up, if he can play like that for the rest of the season, I mean, you got to play him in that 8 then, haven't you? Don't argue the toss with the number 10, with Eze. Play them both. Play them both, because listen, for whatever reason, Odegaard in that 10, the through balls, because they tried it in the second half, he moved a bit more forward in the second half, and it wasn't working as well. The deep lying playmaker position, in the 8, you know, the box-to-box in the 8 position, but playmaking from deep, the balls he was spraying across. They was unbelievable. Some of them was just, you know, like Ozil-esque. Prime Ozil-esque. They were. And I just thought, I've been slagging this player off and I don't believe he's any good. I don't want him at the club, sell him. But that to me proved that he's got something about him on Wednesday. That proves to me why he's probably being wasted. Trying to make him play in that number 10 position is probably wasting him. Like they're trying to do with Declan Rice. Now, I agree that Declan Rice can play the 6 or the 8. He could be the box-to-box. But in the 6, his more natural position, is probably going to be a better player. And I think he can compete with Zubimendi for that number 6 position. And Norgard. And then you've got Odegaard in the 8 competing with whoever else, you know, whoever else is there. Like your Morenos, even your Havertz, whoever. Like, there's a competition for places is there. Wanyeri can compete with Eze for the 10, or Saka for the winger position, the 7. Over on the left, you know, Madueke can come back and probably compete with Martinelli for that position over there. But I hear we're looking at Semenyo from Bournemouth. That would be some signing, that would. I don't know, you know, we spent a lot of money, and I think that's just going to be rumours anyway. But if we sign a player like Semenyo as well, what a squad we'd have. What a squad we would have. And I was just purring. I got a bit worried in the second half because they did come back at us a little bit. Raya produced some wonderful saves in that second half. I mean, you've got to, like, think to yourself, you know, when we was all questioning the sale of Ramsdale or bringing in Raya to replace Ramsdale in the beginning. Ramsdale was number 2 on the bench. Ramsdale, fan favourite, banter with the fans. He was loved over at the Emirates Stadium, weren't he? And people were questioning it, especially when he first came on loan that first season, and you know he was cup tied. It was questions raised, but when you see wonderful, world-class saves like he did against Olympiacos, you think to yourself, we have got a keeper. We have got a keeper there. Our defence looked a bit shaky, to be fair. I felt like, you know, we could be got at. I mean, I don't know what it is, whether Saliba's still carrying a little something. Maybe, I don't know. Gabriel, he looks a little bit of Bozo Genie coming back into him a little bit. Hopefully not. It might be just, you know, a little bit of poor form at the minute, maybe. Bit nervous. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. But I just think that the defence could have been a bit better for me in that game. Ben White is finished. I know I said the same thing about Odegaard, and then he produces a first half of football like he did. But Ben White he looks off his pace. He looks half the player he was when Timber come on. There was a vast improvement over on that right hand side, wasn't there? But I don't think Ben White, I don't think he's going to be long for this club. I could see him being sold by the latest of summer, probably January. I can see him being moved on, because that was the worst performance I've seen from an Arsenal player in a long time, from Ben White. I'm telling you, even though I've coated off performances of Havertz, of all players, I've coated off performances, but I've not seen him play as bad as that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What did you think of Ben White's performance? Did you think, you know, he looked like he wasn't interested. He really looked like he didn't even want to be there for me. And I just thought, you know what, just get him off as soon as possible. I was surprised he weren't hooked before half time, because he was the worst player on the pitch by a mile. And for me, you know, when you play for Arsenal, that's not good enough. That is definitely not good enough. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. I know this has been a little bit of a late match reaction, but as I've said on multiple occasions, sometimes life gets in the way. I ain't going to bore you with the details, but thank you anyway. Stick a like on the video, and I'll speak to you soon.